Good evening. This is David Lynn, also known as the Prepper Principal. It is Thursday, 7 p.m. Central Time, February the 22nd, 2024, and this is Coffee Talk number 158 live stream. Holly Ivans. Hello, Holly. Good evening. And Wayne, the Ungrateful Peasant. Good evening. I appreciate you both coming in. Wayne, I'm going to start trying to watch a lot more of your content. I really enjoy it. I have been viewing I've been viewing some of your live stream. Well, I should say live stream. I've been viewing some of your driving videos recently, 4, 5, 10 minutes ones. They're very good. You really have some good stuff to say, and you speak wisdom. Um, Becoming Dangerous, Bus Stop, KP Heathen, The Handicapped Traveler, Joseph Moore. Thank you all for coming in. I appreciate everybody coming in, and if you would please leave a like to support the channel, and I see most of you have. Thank y'all so much. I keep a log of who's in on my video, on my live streams, because when the live stream's over, all those comments, I lose them. So people who left comments during the stream, I keep the watch time, I keep the likes, but I don't get to keep the comments. So people who come in, I lose that. That's the reason why I write down names. Doc, thank you for coming in, Doc. So I have been working on my preps. Predominantly, I've been working on freeze dried foods. I mean, I buy stuff that I eat. Like, I'll buy a case of chili. I've got several cases stored back, cases of chili. And I buy the completes meals. I'll get those. They're like a 2 and a quarter piece, and I'll buy like a 6 pack of them. I buy the little cases of them, and they're 8 ounces. They're sort of like the equivalent of what you would have in an MRE main. Those MRE mains are 8 ounces in the retort pouches. It's something that you can microwave in a minute, or you can boil it if you need to. So I have been purchasing those. I've been buying a lot of freeze dried number 10 cans of different types of extras and such, so that I have some depth in what I'm doing. Mom of 4 boys, welcome. Appreciate you coming in. And I look at stuff, I see stuff I'm interested in. Mr. Baldhead here. So I usually try to wear something to cover my head when I'm out. I've got a lot of different caps, hats, and such. When I'm doing yard work, I usually have a bandana, a rag over my head. I'll put one around my neck, and sweat rags to keep my head covered. And I've been admiring some of the stuff that you can get as far as like the bikers. Bikers oftentimes, a lot of them are bald, but a lot of times they'll wear a skull cap, and then that way it sort of cushions their head for their helmet. These were popular back during the war. I've got a picture of my father from back during World War II, and he had a green one. I just got this one in. And I mean, it's cotton, so if I sweat, if I was going to be out in the sun, I probably should be wearing something lighter colored. But you know, I just got this one in. It wasn't expensive. Like $7 on Amazon. Little Lone Prepper, thanks for coming in, Little Lone Prepper. I tend to wear darker colors. I mean, yeah, I'm wearing white shirt. My go-to for formal is a white dress shirt, dress slacks. Usually I'm open collar. Sometimes I'm wearing a dress jacket. Sometimes I'm wearing a leather jacket, whatever. And so they say, Mr. Lynn, you wear the same shirt every day? No, I got a dozen of these. I literally have 12 of them. Matter of fact, I got a couple of more for Christmas that I haven't worn them yet. That the wife had got me. And I'm a creature of habit. If you look at pictures of my grandfather, may he rest in peace, he always wore a long sleeve white dress shirt. My great grandfather, long sleeve white dress shirt, and back in the days, and I do that. I tend to do that to honor them. And yeah, I've got colored shirts. I've got a bunch of shirts. I never wear them. My wife buys me a lot of my clothes. I don't wear them. They're nice. I'm not going to throw them away. And every once in a great while, I'll wear one, but usually not. But usually when I'm off, I'm wearing, I'll wear a black T-shirt or a gray shirt. Um, Sometimes long sleeve, short sleeve, and I like it. And it's comfortable. Covers the bald head. Um, so that's one. But I ordered two, and I just got them in. I'll show you the other one. This one's a little bit more formal. This is a little more formal. And again, it's comfortable. Came in a candid signature. and it came, you know, got that in today. This looks nicer, and I don't have to roll it over. It's form fitting. It's pretty. It's really popular with a lot of people who don't have hair, or they shave their heads, or they're bald and they shave. Um, Covers your head. I mean, I could wear this with more dressy clothes. I don't know that I'd wear it with a tie. And some people would say it looks like a Jewish, the Hebrew people who wear the beanies, or the type of religious type. I've seen a lot of Muslims will wear something like this, on their heads. So I got to the post office today, and I mailed off Justin Green, Pastor Green's box. He made a comment. He finally watched the video, and he made a comment on it. He watches all my videos, but sometimes it'll take him a week to do it. Um, he says, "Man, that that guy's a real nice guy, isn't he?" I said, "Yeah, I like him a lot. That's the reason why I sent him a box." You know, and Pastor Green has sent me a box. He sent me multiple items, and I've sent him stuff before. Every once in a while, I'll send him a little check, because he is a minister and he does ministry, and I'll tell him I truly love his Bible studies. He does a Bible study, drops a Bible study every Sunday. Sometimes he'll drop one on Wednesday evening because Wednesday evenings and Sunday mornings are traditional church days, and I will, and I watch them. And usually, a lot of times, I'm the first person to drop a like. Sometimes I'm the second or third person to drop a like. But I mean, and I watch them, and they're not that long. They're usually no more than 15 or 20 minutes, and he's covering chapters of the Bible, and he gives a lot of information, a lot of good stuff, with it. So, uh, Pastor Green, if you by any chance, and I'll send him a text message. I haven't sent him a text message with the tracking yet, but I was told that he should expect it Monday. And 3-day delivery should be Monday. And you ask, well, how much does that cost? About $18. My packages usually cost sending around the United States anywhere from 17, 18, $20 for the size of the package that I sent him. And if you watch the premiere, um, you've seen what's in the box, and you see what's in my boxes. One of the gentlemen that is here this evening, and I say ladies and gentlemen, but one of the gentlemen that's here this evening is KP Heathen, and he's in Louisiana, and he is the next person who will be receiving a box from me. And I basically just need to go buy a box. I mean, I need to buy a couple of boxes because the next couple of people that are going to get boxes from me, and you've seen what's in them, pretty much, it will be KP Heathen and SD Mountain Man Scott. And I mean, I'm real bad with names. I'm real bad with names, and I don't like to use names unless I really know. I don't want to use the wrong name on somebody. So I keep saying KP Heathen. I mean, I've got his first name, but I keep saying KP Heathen. And same thing, with SD Mountain Man. I used to say forever I'd say SD, and I finally started calling him by his first name, Scott. I guess it's one of the things about getting old. I'm past 60 now, and no, I'm not ancient, and I'm not Joe Biden, and I'm not any of these people in Congress that are like 80 some odd years old that can't remember, they freeze or whatever. But I mean, I'm not as sharp as I used to be. How do you know I'm not as sharp as I used to be? Well, do I sound like somebody who has 5 degrees? Not really. When I was young, I was sharp. I was a book when I was young. But I mean, I burned a lot of brain cells. You know, 30 years in education, 23 as a school administrator. I burned a lot of stress. I mean, I burned out a lot of brain cells stressing out over my job. So that's where I'm at right now with that. The Black Widow, thank you for coming in the Black Widow channel. Appreciate you coming in. I haven't been paying attention. I've been talking. A lot of the face masks that you get, like, I mean, I'll do a demonstration. Now, mind you, this isn't going to block anything. This is not going to block anything. But like a lot of times, I'll wear and it's made as a face mask, but a lot of times I'll put it like, and I slip it up underneath. And then I could pull it down over my neck and put it up, and it'd be up like around here. And sometimes I have been known to have one of these and have one down here where basically you just see my eyes. You know. I got a bunch of these. You know. Hey, handicapped traveler. I need to give you more love. Heather Allen, thank you for coming in. Haven't been over to your channel in a while. Everybody speaks so highly of the handicapped traveler, and he puts out good content. He puts out good content. And I used to, when I had a lot more time, I used to visit him a lot more often. But I have not visited the handicapped traveler lately. If you are not subscribed to the handicapped traveler, please subscribe him. And he puts out some real good stuff. Why do you accept one member's bad behavior and never call them out on it? Do they have a mental disability? Okay, I know who you're referring to. Heather, I'm sorry. I do talk to this person. And hopefully there won't be any POOP comments this evening. I don't want to hear about it smells like POOP. Whether it does or doesn't. Yes, I am sorry, Heather. And I don't necessarily thinking it, anybody that comes into my channel has any mental issues. I think sometimes they don't have filters, their generation. Mind you, I'm 61 years old. My parents were married for 21 years before they had me, so I could be a lot older than I am, and I'm an only child. But both of them were smokers, and they both did not stop smoking until a couple of years before I was born. Their young life, first right at 20 years of their marriage, they were both smokers. And then my mother's father, my grandfather, who died in 1959, who died of emphysema, he really encouraged them to stop smoking, and they both stopped smoking. And it was after that happened that my mom was able to get pregnant. She had a miscarriage, and then she got pregnant a second time, and then she had me. So she's 40 years old, and they'd been married since she was 19. And so a lot of my cousins are, 80 years old or older. She wasn't the oldest child, she was the middle child. My father was the eldest child. 17 years difference between my father and his baby brother, my Uncle Howard. My Uncle Howard's 93 years old right now. And I am slightly older than my Uncle Howard's kids. He's the baby of 9. All the others are all older than me. So I grew up with those values, and I grew up learning to they do that. Just they taught me, and I learned their values that from that generation. Um, if you look at my community wall post, and I always post items that I personally own. Nobody is paying me. I'm not getting any donations of items that I'm doing reviews on. Everything I'm reviewing, I buy myself. I buy things on sale. I get things that are of value. I get things that will last. When I buy cookware and such, I buy stainless steel or I buy cast iron. And I want stuff that's going to last a generation. Um, I was looking at pots, and there's a brand called SoloServe. Good reputation brand. And they had a 30-ounce cook pot. And you can use it on an open fire. You can use it on a propane stove. You can use it on an espat stove where you're basically burning tabs. You can use it where you're basically using a sterno, burning sterno. And I got this. It's on my community wall. $34.99 delivered. I think I showed it yesterday. It came in a nice It has a lid, stainless steel, nice pot. It has measurements in US and in metric on the inside and on the outside, 30 ounces. $34.99. Nice quality. And you can use it for water, to boil, for coffee, for tea, to reconstitute freeze-dried foods. You can make chili in it, vegetables, heat vegetables, soup. You can do a lot of things with it. And it's big enough, it holds enough water that you can reconstitute a meal and still have enough water left over for a hot coffee or a hot tea. Good stuff. Really good stuff. And $34.99. It's on my community wall. Evelyn Official. Thank you for coming in, Evelyn Official. I have been visiting folks and leaving comments and watching videos, leaving likes. I always leave a like. Whenever you go and you visit somebody, especially if it's somebody you're subscribed to, first thing you do is leave them a like. I leave a like. I let them know. I let them know usually what like number I am. I'll try to say something nice about their video. Sometimes I'll leave 2 or 3 comments. Like if I'm watching a food review, if I'm watching MRE review, and I love MREs and MRE reviews. Like if you go on to Mike Crusher's channel, or It's Been a While, DeCarlos Perry, and I can name others. But you go onto their channel and you look at me, Ready Rations. I love Ready Rations. I've been watching their premieres on Sunday mornings. Um, Oftentimes you'll see two or three comments, and it'll be during different stages of the. I don't wait till the end of the video to make my comments. Normally, what happens is when I go onto a video, whether it's a live stream or a, a premiere or whatever, first thing I do is I'll let them know it's me, and I'll let them know what like number is. And I'm usually a very low like number because I'm one of the first ones there. And then I will normally say they make comments about something other, and I'll cue off on my comment. I oftentimes will say I hate the U.S. Flameless ration heaters, the ones that Canada uses, or some of the European ones, or different other countries. Their flameless ration heaters are a lot better quality, and I've got a ton of flameless ration heaters. I oftentimes will boil my mains. I'll heat them like this pot that I just got. I could actually have enough water in it that I could be heating a main, or probably two mains. If I got somebody with me, and I could be heating a main in it. And I oftentimes do not use the flameless ration heaters because, yeah, they may or may not work. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But just I don't do it. I usually will boil them. Water, get them hot, get the water hot, and heat them up, and makes the food taste better. The other thing I often do, and one of the things that my crusher does, is that he will have extras for various things, and he'll pull out extras, and he'll have this, that, and the other thing with whatever his meal is, and I'm cool with that. Oftentimes you're like, if you're doing like a freeze dried main, let's say you've got a freeze dried ready meal of some type, whether it's a Mountain House or a Ready Wise or a Peak or whatever, an O'Meals or whatever it is. You got your main, and you're going to want a beverage with it. You're going to want some crackers, or you're going to want some bread or something other with it. Today, one of my paraprofessionals brought a nice crock pot that had it had a enchilada casserole, and the students, we all had enchilada casserole. I had a pack of crackers. I pulled those suckers out, keep them in my drawer. I had about a half a pack of crackers with my casserole. Didn't have any beans, didn't have any rice with it. It was excellent. The casserole's good. And I drank coffee with it. I had a Folgers pod, put it in my Keurig, had a little creamer, put a little creamer in it, and I had a enchilada casserole with crackers and coffee. Nothing better. Simple meal. And I mean to tell you, very, very good, very good. God bless you. It's cold where you're at, son. It's cold, and I'm sorry if it's raining where you're at. It's dry. We're having dry weather right now. Last few days, I mean, it either rains like the world's coming to an end, or it dries. So we'll go for a week and it's dry, and then we'll go for 2 or 3 days and it's raining. So right now, and you might say it's a false spring, or it's we had 3 occasions this winter so far. I think winter's pretty much already over. About a week from March. We've had 3 freezing spells. where a couple of them where it basically we get down to about 30 degrees at night. Then the next day by 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning, it's above freezing. Middle of the night, it'd get down below freezing. So for a period of 8 or 10 hours, it was 30 degrees or below, around 30 degrees. And then we had one really deep freeze for a couple of days where it got down to like 19 or 20 degrees here. And that's as cold as it ever gets. 19, 20 degrees. Didn't have any snow, didn't have any sleet, but it got down really cold once. And I guess that was the big deep freeze that we had, in Texas. One of the things I'd like to comment about, Mike Crusher Reviews. Your ears must be ringing because I was talking about you and your reviews, Mike. I really love them. There were a bunch of people today that did not have working cell phones. Cell phone service was down for whatever reason. Several of the big carriers, AT&T, Horizon, T-Mobile, I believe. There were several of the super big carriers, and and then the ones, the smaller ones like Cricket that run off their systems, Cricket, and I forget who else. But a lot of the big carriers were not working. Was not working for whatever reason. No phone service, and it supposedly started about 4 o'clock in the morning. About 4 o'clock in the morning, and it was out for a period of a good 6, 7 hours, 8 hours. And there were people. I mean, both of my paraprofessionals have cell phones. I have a phone. I've got a huge room. I sit. My desk is in the middle. They got a desk on either corner, and we were texting back and forth, or I was texting them. They weren't receiving anything. And then afterwards, they got their, when the service started back, they got their text messages. So I don't know what it was, but there is some suspect that there was some hacking or had something to do with some hacking, or maybe it was it might turn out down the road you'll find out it was a foreign government screwing with us. Could be the Chinese, could be the Russians, could be the Iranians. There are 4 or 5, governments that are up to no good. The North Koreans. A lot of people are into this cyber stuff. Now, honestly, when they do stuff like that, I don't think they really affect the military. I don't know that they really affect the hardcore government control, because they're on different systems. The stuff that they use is a lot more protected. It's not in a public domain. So if somebody thought, okay, they're going to disrupt things, they could disrupt things civilly, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be able to disrupt the military chain, our air bases, our naval assets, the Air Force assets. I don't know that they'd be able to do that. Yeah, the Pentagon gets hacked, but I don't know if I think that's their public service, possibly. From what I understand, we've got a lot of secure stuff that they use. I don't know. You know, I would hope. I would hope that they're beyond that. You know, that's just like an EMP. Um, we have the technology to protect against an EMP. It's expensive to implement it. Like our power grids are all old and antiquated, but reportedly our bases, a lot of our high-end military assets are protected against EMPs, so it wouldn't affect them. And I'm sure data breaches. We received, my wife's got some health issues, and I've had a couple of different letters where medical records were hacked, hospital records were hacked or whatever, and they send out a letter notifying us, or financial institutions notifying us that financial records were hacked or whatever. I mean, I have no doubt there are people who basically are up to no good, and you know, so one of the things that I'm trying to do for people that I care about, and I care about the people who support me. I support those who support me. uh, I have very good people that I wish we lived near each other. I'm sure we'd get together for coffee. And I try to, when I send stuff out, I try to send stuff that will benefit somebody. The boxes that I've been sending lately have been fire related. The ability to create fire, heat water, cook something. Um, I'm sending that out in a couple of different forms. The camp stoves that I send out, these are cheap. I was paying $12 a piece for them. Last few I bought were like $10.50. They went down on them. Maybe they're giving me a discount because they know I buy a bunch of them. I don't know. But they're flat. They're inexpensive. You can put them in a backpack. Right up there where my fingers pointed, that's one. Right there where my other silver one, that's a sterno. This is a Coggins, like this one. I put those in. Sterno. Got tons of sterno. Put sterno in. And then likewise, I put in a second one. Emergency stove with burns tabs. Now it does not have the doesn't have the pot. Doesn't have that, but has that. And then I'll include an extra set of tabs. Right now, I just got another 3-pack of the tabs. I paid like $7 a pack for the tabs. I was paying around $5 a pack. They've gone up. And honestly, I would not be really, I would have a supply of it, but I really would not be using the tabs, uh, the fuel tabs. I would be basically using sterno or canned heat. I can get a 12-pack of the canned heat that you can light, extinguish, light, extinguish, light, extinguish. One can will burn for 6 hours. You let it burn straight, it's 6 hours. You light it, heat your water, put it out, light it, heat your water. And I can get a 12-pack for $20 over at Sam's. 12-pack. And you can also use a couple of them in your room if it's really cold to heat your room, keep you above freezing. And it's not going to, it's not going to hurt you to burn those inside. It's not going to stink inside. You know. Now, the fuel tabs, you don't want to burn those inside because they stink. I mean, you just sniff the box, it stinks. Not even lighting it. Yeah, I mean, Wayne, I know you believe, and I don't necessarily disagree with you, and you may be proven correct, and I hope you're not, that something happens. and we have some of our bases hit, you know, I mean, I believe there will be hell to pay. I really believe there'll be hell to pay. And if we get hit hard, trust me, they hit us, we'll hit them as harder, harder. And who suffers? Well, civilians. Civilians will suffer. I also understand because I've had several people comment to me that there is a warning, a content warning on my channel, that YouTube has a content warning up. Somebody said something about a content warning for misinformation. You know, that I'm saying things that aren't true, or I'm lying. You um, what I say is my opinion. Take my opinion for what it's worth. I don't try to mislead anybody. I'm not telling anybody to go out and do anything that's illegal. I'm not, I'm not bad mouthing people to badmouth people. Um, I try to treat people the way I want to be treated. And I hurt people's feelings, and I apologize. Occasionally I hurt somebody's feelings. Um, I've used examples about abuses of the church in the past. Over, Christianity is 2,000 years old. And you had an early church that was very, small church. Poor people, small church. Small groups of people getting together, learning, and praying. Especially, when they started uh, basically converting the non-Hebrews, because the Hebrews had the Hebrew Bible, or what you call the Old Testament. You know, and they tend to be fairly literate. It's part of their nature. They have to be able to read Scripture, so they'd learn to read. And a lot of people back then, it was only the well-to-do that knew how to read. And over the history of the church and the development of the church, things have changed. A lot of things have changed. A lot of the things that the church believes today didn't come about till several hundred years after, the Lord and His ministry and the apostles and those people. It's after their time. The early church kept the Sabbath, Saturday. The early church did not celebrate Christmas, December the 25th. The early church did not celebrate Easter, it celebrated Passover. I mean, so many things. And why did they do that? Why did they change things? Well, they were trying to convert the pagans. So they started adopting pagan holy days and making them Christian holy days. And people want to argue with you about it. I'm not going to argue with you. It's the truth. Read the history books. Read books. You can get true history books out there. They'll give you the history of things. Torah, yes. Well, the Jews have Torah and then they have Talmud. Talmud are sacred writings and interpretations and such that noted rabbis, have back over the ages, interpretations and such. Talmud, yes, and Torah, yeah. Thank you for that, Mom. I don't know. I've never watched YouTube on television. I'm either using my iPad, which I'm right now I'm projecting on my iPad, or I use my iPhone. Now, in the near future, I'm probably going to be doing upgrading. I'm planning on getting a new MacBook, and I'll probably be using a MacBook. I've got a gateway that I'm sitting here. I'm not using it. I've got a gateway sitting here, um, but I'm planning on getting a MacBook, and I will probably be getting a new iPhone, and I'll be using, my MacBook, and you can do more with a computer than you can with an iPad or with an iPhone when it comes to, YouTube. So I'm gonna try to, you know, upgrade my game a little bit. Yeah, Wayne, that is true. The so-called Protestant Revolution, the religious wars. Um, there's a channel that no longer follows me, and I really haven't been following. And I don't have anything against him, but I hurt his feelings because I was running down the church, and it's like I'm just speaking truth. I'm not purposely running down the church. There was a time when the church was the only bastion to Islam when Islam was spreading out, you know. But there have been a lot of bad things that have happened in the church over the centuries. And I really don't believe you can argue the point. This happened. Historical facts. Not good. But that's me bashing the church. And mind you, I was raised a Catholic. My mother's family is largely Catholic. My father's family is Baptist. You know, Georgia folks versus the Irish and German Southern Catholics. Southern Germany and Irish. Anyway, um, Mr. Whistle, thank you for coming in, Mr. Whistle. I'm not paying attention who's coming in, and I'm missing saying stuff to people. I'm sorry. So, the thing that I said that was a big is the idea of indulgences. What's an indulgence? Oh, I'm going to indulge you. I'm going to humor you or whatever. Humor. They use the word humor is indulge somebody. I'm going to indulge. Indulge yourself or whatever. And an indulgence was the selling of it's like selling a pass, like a get out of jail free card or whatever, or a reduced sentence. You could pay to reduce your sentence. um, the idea of purgatory. Purgatory is not a concept in the Bible. Purgatory is not. That is a development of scholars who, like the old argument about how many angels can dance you know, on a pinhead. Just people philosophy, people theorizing or whatever. And the idea was, one, the church was wanting to raise money, and there were a lot of very superstitious, gullible people that had money. So your mother, your father, you, your wife, your husband, somebody they pass away. They're going to pass away, and they're not holy enough or they're not good enough to go straight to heaven. Well, for one thing, the scriptures say, when you die, you sleep. When you die, you sleep. You will rise in the judgments. You will rise in the judgments. But you're not up there floating around in a cloud. Now, there have been exceptions and there are examples of people that God took, that were either spared death or that he took. And there were examples of people who have died who God rose, or he raised them, and they've been messengers and such. So they had the concept of purgatory. And if you weren't good enough, you go to purgatory. Well, you could buy an indulgence. You could pay, and they would pray for you, and they would intercede for you. The bishop, the archbishop, the pope, or whoever would intercede for you and keep you from going to purgatory. Or if you go to purgatory, it'll shorten your length of time in purgatory. The idea of purgatory was a waiting place. It wasn't hell, it wasn't heaven. It was like in between where you were going to be purified so that you would be worthy of going to heaven. And that's all, that's not scriptural. But it was a means to make money. Another example, a more recent example, ka ka tai tai va tong. I always mispronounce that. How are you doing? Thank you for coming in. I bought another I guess you'd say it's a LiPo 4 power system. I bought a Pecron, and I will be doing an unboxing. It just came in. It was delivered by FedEx today, this afternoon. About the time I got off work, I got home about 5 o'clock. The guy was there at the front door, wanting somebody, you get a little bit more expensive deliveries, and they want to make sure somebody received it, and the porch power didn't get it. So, but the idea of, there's a title in Britain now called baronet. Baronet. It's not a baron. It's not a knight. It's a baronet. Well, what's the difference between a knight and a baronet? Well, a lot of famous people, the crown will give them a knighthood. Knight or dame would be for a woman. And it's a title, sir or dame, and it's for their life. Their heir will not inherit that title. But back in the days, the crown, trying to raise money and not having to go to Parliament, because Parliament would make them do things or would want to strip some of their powers and such in exchange for money, or they'd cause trouble passing laws. The crown came up with the idea that they would create a title, a lesser nobility title that rich people could buy. If you had money, you could buy it, called baronet. And basically, what that title was a hereditary title where you would be a hereditary knight. And you would be referred to as sir. So they normally would refer to a knight as sir. Sir so-and-so. Dame so-and-so for a female. You could buy that title and your heir could inherit it. So it was a hereditary title. but it was one that didn't have any nobility behind it. It was basically originally when it was originally created. Now, yeah, people, hundreds of years later, where they're the fifth or sixth or seventh or eighth or 10th, you know, down the road, it's got some significance to it because it was one of their ancestors several hundred years ago who originally got that title from the king. And it's baronet. And they would be called Sir So and so Baronet. And they could use it in their crest, in their coat of arms. And they put it in their coat of arms. The higher up you are, the more extensive your coat of arms is. But traditionally, the lowest level of peerage or the lowest level of nobility would be a baron. Over on the continent, in Europe, the baron was the equivalent of count. The idea of county, a count was in charge of a county. Count or a female would be countess. And then over in England, the British, they used the term baron or baroness. And they would be referred to as lord or lady. But I mean, I have a degree in history, and I studied, seriously studied, have twice the number of courses required for a degree in history. Idaho Garden Girl, thanks for coming in. So, I have to repeat things from earlier because different people are in the stream. I went to the post office today and I mailed off Justin Green, Pastor Green's box. He should get it Monday, 3-day delivery. And I will text him and let him know, and I'll send him the tracking number. He should get it Monday. So the next box is going to be KP Heathen. And after that, it will be Scott SD Mountain Man. And then I'll figure out who's after that when I start getting there. So I'll start putting together another box. I'll start putting together segments. I've got some ideas for little sections I will put out, and maybe I'll put it out as a short. Maybe I'll put it out as a little video. Both. And I'll have some clips that'll be in my next video. And I oftentimes have fun with people. And I'll do this last video. I had a breakfast segment, a lunch segment, and a supper segment at 3 different meals. Little segments that I put in there and talking about stuff. But I'm getting ready to do and I'm have fun at Uncle Al's expense because I'm getting ready to do a bunch of little. I've taken a lot of screenshots of Uncle Al when he starts talking about my channel, and he'll advertise my channel for me and hold up a little card. I've got him wearing all sorts of stuff, different hats, clothes, where he's holding up the card, and I'm gonna put those together and make a clip of it with some music, and that will probably be a shorter video that I'll be releasing in the near future, but it'll also be something that'll probably be in my next goodie box. So Heathen, that'll probably be in yours. Uncle Al's a very good supporter. I really appreciate him. He's a good friend, and he's been a mentor to me when it comes to preparedness and such. One time I watched everything he put out, and he watched everything I put out, and he put out like 5 times as much stuff as I put out. So he was making out like a bandit, But he finally hit his 2,000. I'm on the road to 1,600, and I have not been growing. I'm probably about 300 behind where I should be if I'd have kept my foot on the gas the way I was before, because I was growing over 100 a month. In the last month, I haven't picked up any new subscribers in the last 28 days. I checked my analytics. I haven't picked up any new subscribers. I'm sitting at 1,520. I was sitting at 1,520 a month ago or longer. Um, Food forest permaculture. Thank you for coming in. And this weekend, I have to do my two-step and my paperwork submit for monetization. I hit my 4,000 watch hours this last weekend, and so I'm 4,000 watch hours and over 1,500 subscribers, and I'm gonna submit for my monetization. Yeah, and you can learn. It's not hard. Um, you can go get a used. I'd get something that's like 30 years old before any of the woke stuff started creeping in. You can get a 30-year-old at a used bookstore. Get a U.S. history book. Get a history book of your state. You know, I live in Texas. I teach Texas history. I teach U.S. history. Um, you can get a world history book. Get several. Inexpensively old. And before all the woke stuff started creeping in and all the revisionist history started creeping in, you know, they've been trying to rewrite some of the history stuff. I would encourage you to do that. As I was saying earlier, I just ordered and got in a couple of caps. Um, Being bald, having lack of hair. If I was wearing a helmet back during the war, I got pictures of my father, my uncle. Theirs were green. They'd wear those steel helmets. They'd have this under the helmet to protect their head. Motorcycle riders will wear something like this. You can adjust it. It's like $7 on Amazon. And I tend to wear black. I like black. Um, Thank you for that, Wayne. I'll look that up. I have a lot of David Hunt. Thank you for coming in. Congratulations on crossing 1,000. You're welcome. Um, 19 likes. Get me one more so I can get to 20. Appreciate it. So I got this one, and then I got one more that I bought. I bought two of them. That's one of them. This one's a little bit more formal. It's cotton. It's good for sweat and can wash it. This one's more of a more formal. And this one is a candid signature. This one was like $12, $13. They got them different colors. Like I said, I tend to wear black, and I could wear this like with, you know, dress clothes. You see a lot of Muslims, a lot of black men that'll wear these over their, when they go someplace and it's like a more formal setting, they'll wear these. And you can get them different colors. Very comfortable. Um, yeah, I I have a fairly extensive library of books, some of which I inherited, some of which um, I purchased in my youth because we didn't have the internet back then. I got a lot of first editions. I got a lot of hardcovers and a lot of the classics. I've read quite a bit of the classics, and if the internet goes down, if we were to revert to the old days, what you got in print's what you got. Got to think about that. It's wrap up time. What are you pulling an Uncle Al on me, bus stop? It's wrap up time. Yeah, I will check out that site too. If you are not subscribed to Wayne, the Ungrateful Peasant, his second backup channel is Becoming Dangerous. I encourage you to subscribe to him. The channels in here tonight, I'm subscribed to every one of these channels that are in here tonight, whether you're a content producer or not. I subscribe you. If you follow me, I follow you, and I subscribe you. And I oftentimes shout out these channels that come into my Hitler used French historians and yeah, Hitler, he sent out teams all over the bloody place trying to dig up stuff. He was looking for all sorts of stuff. He was into the occult. You know, the Nazis were into a lot of that occult stuff, and they wanted to bring back the Nordic gods. The old Norse gods, and they were into a lot of that pagan stuff. And the swastika was an Indian from the subcontinent. It was a symbol that they used. The swastika, the crooked cross. Um, I've been watching Belinda's channel. Belinda's a very good person. She puts out good stuff. She puts out really good cooking stuff. She does. Mini meatloaves. Also, apricot pie. I love apricot. Yummy. Yep. Yep. Belinda's channel. She puts out some good content. I agree with you about that. I'm checking to see if there's anybody I missed that came through and left the comment and I was talking, not paying attention. I've written down 19 names, 20 likes, 10 in the house. I am looking to see if Uncle Al has been having some issues. He's not doing too well with the health. And he's trying to take it easy. So Justin Green should be getting his box Monday. Tuesday at the latest, hopefully. He's in Ohio. Mel's been going there pretty well recently. Um, the next one I will be sending will be KP Heathen, who's in Louisiana. It's a lot closer. And then after that will be SD Mountain Men up in South Dakota. And then I'll figure out after that who's going to get a box. I support those who support me. I believe in the Scout motto, be prepared. I pray daily. I think I wake up in the morning. I thank God for the day, because the day I don't wake up, I won't know it. It's like going to sleep and you're asleep for eternity until the judgment day. And you'll have no concept of time past. That's one of the things about death, is that you're sleeping. Nothing's happening to you until the Lord calls you. When the Lord calls you, you're back awake. And that's what scriptures say. That's what happens when you pass, when you take your last breath. The breath of life leaves you. I don't say things to hurt people's feelings intentionally. Occasionally I say something that hurts your feelings. I was raised a Catholic, Roman Catholic, baptized a Roman Catholic. I've been baptized a Baptist, I've been baptized twice. I was sprinkled and I was dunked, immersed. And I don't say, oh, well, so-and-so's not going to heaven because they're this. So-and-so's not going to heaven because they're that. Do you accept the Lord as your Savior? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? And I'm not trying to proselytize. I'm just telling you what my personal beliefs are. Walter Davis, good evening, Walter. Thank you for coming in. Another good man, puts out good material, very wise. If you're not subscribed to Walter Davis, I encourage you to subscribe to Walter Davis. Yeah, I'm going over a little over an hour. Uncle Al's not here, so he's not here to spank me. Of course, he'll do a replay, and then he'll spank me in his comments. Because trust me, he does. He'll say I'm drifting, off topic. Yes, I believe in preparedness. I was a scout. Be prepared is my motto. Having a blessed day is my motto. Life is good is my motto. It is what it is. Those are all my go-tos. Treat people the way you want to be treated. The golden rule. Those are all my go-tos. But to say I'm drifting, I talk about work. I use this as a way to decompress. I talk about things that are going on, like the idea of the cell phones were out today. 4 a.m., all the major carriers, the cell phone services was out. Internet was not out because it's on a different carrier wave. It's on a different carrier. But cell phones were out. That's disturbing. Right now, there's a big blowback over the situation with the former president and that big ruling, $500 million ruling against him. And there's a lot of people who are upset. A lot of truckers right now are saying they're not going to deliver to certain places. They're not going to do loads to. What happens if a big city, 85% of what comes into your city is on 18-wheelers? What happens if a significant number of 18-wheelers say they won't ship to you? Well, one, yeah, you'll still get orders in, you'll still get loads in, but they're going to charge you more for those loads. What if the rate goes up 25 or 30%? What they're charging you? Well, that's going to drive up the prices on all the people who are buying commodities. You want to buy from the box store. You want to buy food, groceries, and such, dairy products. If they're charging more to ship it in, you're going to pay more at the cash register. Consequences. Whether you support the guy or not, consequences. So I appreciate everybody's here, and I will plan on being back tomorrow for another edition of Coffee Talk. Life is good, but it is what it is. And everybody, please have a blessed day. Thank you.